What happens when private equity money enters a community-based system? So what's happening with WordPress, or what has been happening with WordPress since the COVID era? I dig into that a bit today, and I'm going to dig into it a little bit more in coming episodes. Stay tuned to find out what I think. Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 717, and it's Mindset Monday. Sorry, I'm thinking about what we're going to talk about today. I am going to do, over the next couple of Mindset Mondays, a dig into what's happening within the WordPress ecosystem, particularly related to plugins that are being acquired by bigger corporations, what that means for us as business owners, and what that means for us as business owners. Really, that's what I want to do. It's going to take me a couple of episodes because I don't want to sort of drop it all on you at once. But this episode today is about understanding what's happening, how it works, what's happening, what it looks like now, and what it means for you. And then in the next couple of episodes, I'm going to dig into that a little bit further. To get started with this, I really want to send a shout out to Katie Keith from Barn2 Plugins. I saw a post from her on X today talking about a major acquisition that's happened and what's happened within the ecosystem as a result of that. I'll get to that. And I just want to make sure that I'm giving credit where credit is due. Let's talk about how the WordPress plugin ecosystem works. So we're talking about WordPress plugins, and we're talking about WordPress. And this is one reason why I actually like using WordPress. It's free and it's open source. This means that WordPress itself is free and open source. That means that I can take the code, I can write extensions for it, plugins, I can write themes for it, themes. If WordPress itself breaks, I can get into its source code and fix it if I have to. Fortunately, most times I don't have to, because there is such a strong developer community within the WordPress ecosystem that when something goes wrong, it's fixed. It happens. And WordPress itself actually has a team of core developers working on the system regularly. Now, plugins are where the business happens, right? Generally. I say right, generally. Plugins are where the business happens. They too get the open source license that comes with WordPress. That's part of developing for WordPress. Is when we create a plugin for WordPress, it actually takes the open source license that goes with it. We can't copyright that. And it sounds terrible, doesn't it? We can't copyright it. We can't copyright that. It's actually part of the way we work within that ecosystem, is that it's understood that when we write a plugin, if someone else wants to use it, they can. If someone else wants to improve it, they can, but they've got to give a shout out to the person who wrote it initially. It tends to work. There's some bad actors out there, but it tends to work. And it's great because that means I can take a plugin that might be aging, that might not be supported anymore, and I can fix it. I can build on it. I can change it. I can make it work the way I need it to work for my systems. So that's what we talk about when we're talking about the plugin ecosystem. And it's kind of where the business really happens, because the way it gets structured for real companies, real businesses. Now, you can write a free plugin, goes into the WordPress repository. You may or may not support it. That's kind of a risk we take, and I've spoken about that previously. But when we're talking about paid plugins, you're not paying for the license to use that plugin. Maybe you don't. Maybe people don't get that distinction. You're not actually paying the license to be able to use that plugin because it's open source. It's included with the WordPress license, or it's included under the WordPress license. What we're paying for is all of the time that's gone into developing it, all of the time that's gone into maintaining it, and for the support license for that. When it breaks, you've got someone you can contact. When it needs an update, you get the automatic updates for it. Rather than it sitting in the free WordPress repository and it may or may not get updates, you generally can be assured when you pay for a plugin, you're getting a reasonable level of support. Some people provide better levels of support than others, but you can be assured you're getting a reasonable level of support. I'm rabbiting on. I just want to really get that point out there, though. It's important then to understand that founders who create these companies that build these plugins and support these plugins have generally built these plugins to solve problems they saw firsthand. A better LMS, a better event system, a better backup tool. Now, let me give you some examples on that. LearnDash, for example, was founded in 2012 or 2013-ish by Justin and Chloe. I think it's Chloe maybe, Ferryman. Justin was an e-learning consultant who saw WordPress could be a learning management system. He built it. He saw it. He saw it. He built it. He grew that company to nearly 40 employees. In September 2021, LearnDash was acquired by a company called LiquidWeb. I'm going to come to that in just a moment. The events calendar was built by Modern Tribe, a digital agency. They started in 2009, 2010. Those of us that have been looking for decent event calendars will know that this is the one that comes up most of the time. It's the one that most of us would use if we had to do an events calendar. And it started because one of their clients needed a calendar. So they built one, then another, then they made it a plugin. They grew that company to 50 plus employees, and they have had over 800,000 active installations. That was acquired by LiquidWeb in 2020. Cadence WP, which was a page builder, a bit like Divi, a bit like Viva Builder, a bit like Elementor, that's the other one. That was founded in 2013 by Ben Rittner. And again, it was developed because he saw the need for a decent page builder. Couldn't find one in 2013, which would be about right. That was when page builders really started to come to the fore. He grew rapidly, that business grew rapidly. The team was working 16 hours plus a day. And in April 2021, they joined iThemes and Stellar WP. Again, I'll come back to that one. And the last one that I really want to cover here is GiveWP. That is a donations plugin specifically built for nonprofit organisations. It was founded in 2015 by Matt Cromwell, Devin Walker, and Jason Neal. All WordPress developers who built donation solutions for nonprofit clients. They saw the need. They built something that they could resell, they could support, they could be there for the long term. It was launched at WordCamp San Diego 2015. It grew to 2 to 20 plus peoples. In 2021, it was acquired by LiquidWeb. Okay, so there's what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4 organizations who, coming back to my point that I was just trying to make, saw a need, saw a gap in the market, created something and built it. Okay. They saw the need, they built it. Most of these guys started as a one person, 2 person small team, and they've grown through word of mouth and community reputation to larger organizations. They've been built over years, not overnight. The founder saw the product. I mean, my notes here say the founder was the product. They wrote the code, answered the support ticket, showed up at WordCamps, listened to what users needed, got into the community forums and spoke to them about it. A lot of these guys you'd be on email with them saying, it's not working, I can't make this work, here's my logs, what can you do? They'd be the one saying, can I have a log into your site? I want to have a look at it, see if I can make it work. How do I know this? I'm one of those guys, okay? I don't have a business anywhere near what these guys have built, but I've created code for sites. I've done this myself, so I understand where that's coming from. Their pricing stayed reasonable because the founder's goal was sustainability, not extraction. Now, when I talk about extraction, it's not it's extracting profit. It's extracting money from their customers, but they wanted to be sustainable. So yes, they needed to make money to stay in business, but it's that really fine balance. It's that tension between what can I do to make enough money to make myself comfortable and keep my business sustainable without really sticking it to my customers. That's the only way I can say that, and that's a very Australian thing to say. When something broke, you could reach out to the person who built it. So business health and community health, the plug-in business health and community health were literally the same thing. If the users left, the business suffered. So the founder had every reason to keep the product good and the relationship honest. Pretty much we chose those tools because they were good, because they fitted a need, absolutely. But it was also because we could trust the people behind them. It wasn't just a brand, it wasn't just a logo. There were actual people behind it that we understood and understood us and our businesses. All right. That's how it worked right then. Okay, that's what the plugin ecosystem is about. That still works today. We still have people building beautiful plugins, building beautiful add-ons for our WordPress installations that we still deal with, that we still give good money to because we trust them. We know we're going to get good levels of support. We know it's going to work for us. All right. But what happened? You heard in all of those 4 examples I gave you that they were acquired somewhere around the 2020 mark. Well, it goes back a little bit further than 2020. In 2018, Liquid Web, backed by private equity firm Madison Dearborn Partners, started acquiring plugin companies. They started with iThemes, who were the original makers of Backup Buddy. I loved Backup Buddy as a product. I loved it as a plugin. Perfect. It met all my backup needs. I have done tutorials on it. I have recommended it up until a couple of years ago. And now I know why. I didn't actually draw this parallel until I started doing this episode. It wasn't until 2020 or 2021 that the pace of acquisition actually accelerated. When I mean accelerated, it looks to me like it's gone off the rails. The events calendar from Modern Tribe was acquired in 2020, Cadence, GiveWP, LearnDash, and another one, Iconic WP, in 2021. Why? Why did this start happening so quickly around then? Well, COVID happened. COVID caused a lot of businesses to move online. I remember this so well because I was thinking, wow, these guys have pivoted so quickly. I was sitting in Honolulu, remembering that I got locked out of Australia for 2 years during all of this. I was sitting in Honolulu with my mates and we wanted to go. We were thinking, well, we can't go out for dinner to our favorite restaurant. What are we doing? We said, that's okay. We can now order online and we can do curbside pickup. Overnight, pivoted. Mostly because of stuff like this, right? Because they had tools there, they could move quickly and they could pivot, and people were there saying, yes, we can do it. So a lot of businesses moved online. It accelerated what was already moving that way, which included a demand for plugins that could handle courses, events, donations, e-commerce, an easy way to update systems, page builders without having to know your code, without having to change your theme every time or get in and do, oh, I've got to put this here with the theme and I've got to tick this box. Page builders made that so much easier. What that did to the ecosystem was it made plugin revenue look like a permanent growth trajectory when it was probably more of a temporary surge. Now, I can't guarantee that statement is entirely correct. I think it is, because people needed to do things quickly, so the income surged, it peaked really high, and I think what we've seen over the last few years is that's starting to peter off a bit. What it then did was cheap capital made it easy to buy the brand, buy the revenue, pay a premium based on the numbers that they were never going to hold. Okay, so we've got these private equity firms saying, oh, this looks like a really good niche to get into. Look at the growth in it. Look at the money we can make out of it. Go and buy all of these organizations. So private equity started coming in and buying up these organizations. Private equity through companies like Liquid Web. So in May 2021, Liquid Web launched Stellar WP as an umbrella brand to house all of these acquisitions. iThemes rebranded to Solid WP under the Stellar WP umbrella, and every acquisition came with the same promise: same team, same product, more resources, faster development. All right, so this is in the 2021-22 range. we were told that nothing would change. We would set the same product, we'd have more resources put at it because now there's private equity involved, so there's money there to actually get developers on board to do these things. The private equity firms were getting things like the revenue streams, like the loyal customer base, like what they would consider a locked-in user base. Okay, so what they actually bought, though, was revenue streams, not the relationships. I don't think that organizations, corporates specifically, can understand the relationships that occur in small business, that occur in micro businesses. Now, most of my audience, I think, can understand that. We know that we deal with smaller businesses because we get a relationship. Yes, we can go to a larger business and deal with them and be treated like a number. Might be a bit cheaper, but is it any better? Maybe, maybe not. What started happening, though, were the founders started to leave. I'm not going to put any assumption as to why they left. Justin Ferriman left LearnDash, Devon Walker left GiveWP, James Kemp left Icon WP. Then, fast forward a couple of years now, they've had a couple of years, the revenue's been flowing in, they've got this loyal customer base. October 2025 saw Liquid Web cut 25% of the stellar WP workforce, including people who had been there since before the acquisitions. Now what we're starting to see is the people who we had built the trust with, the people who we know understand our businesses, understand how these plugins work, they're starting to go. This week, and this is what's really this is what really brought it into the fore for me and why I wanted to do this episode. This week, individual brand websites for Cadence, LearnDash, GiveWP, the events calendar, Icon WP, now all redirect to the Liquid Web website. Their websites I don't know if they don't exist anymore, but we certainly can't access them. Now, if you go and look at them, they go to the Liquid Web website. The brands are now listed as Liquid Web software. The individual identities are gone from the web. Solid WP has merged into Cadence. Iconic WP has merged into Cadence. MemberDash merged into LearnDash. When your current license expires, it's my understanding that we are going to need to purchase one of the new Liquid Web software plans. I don't think they're grandfathering us in. I can't confirm that at the moment, but I don't think they're grandfathering us in. So when our current licenses expire and they say you need to upgrade or you need to renew, they're going to say, here's your new renewal. What does that look like? We have no idea. So what does this mean? Okay, I've banged on a bit and I've given you a lot of history here about what happened and where we're at today. What does this mean for us? What does it mean for you? What does it mean for us as businesses? This isn't just a WordPress story. This is what happens when financial buyers enter any community-built ecosystem. And again, I'm just going to bring this right back. We work within these ecosystems because we trust the people. It's a people-built system. It's a community-built system. When financial buyers enter it, that tends to not be a focus anymore. They're financial buyers. They're buying it for revenue streams. They're buying it for the subscriber base. They're not buying it because people trust the brand. They're not buying it necessarily because there's that understanding there. That's why these companies were successful. That was a Freudian slip. No, they're not expensive. The products start changing. Dashboard branding you don't ask for appears. Product mergers you didn't choose happen. Relicensing that ties you to a different ecosystem. Now, when I talk about dashboard branding you did not ask for, I don't know how many of you have logged in to your WordPress admin recently. I was shocked the other day. I did an update. I logged into of a set of plugins. I logged into my WordPress dashboard and there's big banners everywhere. Buy this, buy that, do this thing here. Have you looked at this? And I'm like, don't sell to me when I'm in my admin dashboard. I'm in my admin dashboard because I need to work. I'm not in my admin dashboard for you to market to me. They're now using that as a marketing tool. Annoys me. I hope it annoys you. It annoys me. Alrighty, so what does that mean for us, though? I've told you all of this. What is it we can do about it? I like my episodes to have a practical how-to of what we can do at the end of these episodes. The thing I'm going to encourage you to do as you go through these next set of episodes with me, they're going to come out every Monday for 2 or 3 more Mondays. I'm not sure how many more. It depends on how much writing I feel like doing, but at least 2 more. Before next Monday, what I'd really encourage you to do is do an audit on what you're running on your WordPress websites, on your WordPress systems. Know who the provider is, know how much you're paying, know what sort of support you're getting for it. If you can't do that, speak to your tech team, speak to your web developer and ask them to give you the list. If you still need help, if you don't have someone, reach out to me. If you haven't already used it, you've got a 30-minute free breakthrough session. I can absolutely use that to go and do that for you. I just need to log in and I can get you that list and work those sorts of things out. But do that audit. Understand what you're running on your website and who now owns it and what sort of support you're getting, okay? The practical what to do about it is going to come in the next episode, I think, and we're going to dig down a little bit further. So again, guys, a shout out to Katie Keith from Barn2 Plugins for highlighting this and giving me the idea for the episode or for the series of episodes. I would love to know what you're thinking about all of this. It's always a concern when you get into a system and it's like, well, now it's changed. How do you feel about it? Is your thinking changing? What are you going to do? Are you going to do nothing? Does it bother you? Leave comments wherever you are watching or listening to this video. If this video was useful, or this episode was useful, please give it a like and maybe share it with someone else who uses WordPress and wants to understand what's going on with the systems. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. What else do I have to say on that one? Oh yeah, if you want to book your free breakthrough session, it's only one per person / company. You can go to askcharlyleetham.com and click the bright pink button in the top right hand corner. It's book your breakthrough session. I'll gladly give you a hand. I'll gladly give you as much value as I can for that 30 minutes. If you already booked your breakthrough session and you've had it and you still need help, I would love to work with you. So reach out. I have a number of ways you can work with me that are very, very cost effective. I'd love to hear from you. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I will see you on Wednesday for Walkthrough Wednesday. Then we've got Firewall Friday, where I've got another doozy coming for you. And then next Monday, we'll cover this one a little bit further. See you then, guys. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.